Are you tired of CS2 stuttering, frame drops, and random lag spikes ruining your matches? Well, this is the only FPS guide you actually need in 2025. In this video, I'll show you step-by-step how to boost FPS, fix stutters, and make CS run smoother than ever. So, let's get started. So here I'm going to break down the things you need to do to boost your FPS in CS2. So, let's go. First, open up Steam. You want to right-click on Counter-Strike 2, Properties. Make sure you only have this as your launch option. Or you can also add in -no reflex, which completely disables the NVIDIA reflex setting. So if you need latency, I recommend you remove this and actually set it to enabled. If you have a good GPU, put it to enabled plus boost. If you need that FPS, I recommend you this here. But since I don't need it, because I'm ready to go to my frames then, let's head on to the next thing to do. Go to Browse. You want to go to Game, go to CSGO, and go to Panorama. You want to make sure that you rename this so that the game doesn't scan all of these files here, because apparently it runs in the background, which is completely unnecessary for our FPS. Next, you want to go to Game. Go to Bin, Win64, right-click on CS2.exe Properties, Compatibility. Make sure that you have this unticked, because last time I said that you guys should enable this option for more FPS, but apparently that does the complete opposite. So next, make sure you still have this option enabled, because it actually works pretty well. Doesn't really harm your FPS whatsoever. The second thing I will go over is your in-game settings. You want to press Escape, then go to Settings, then to Video. Make sure here the highest frame rate possible is set for your monitor. Now onto the advanced settings. Starting from the very top, always make sure to have Boost Player Contrast on enabled, as it does help with the enemy visibility, especially at longer distances. Make sure the VSync is turned off, as this just caps your FPS, which we do not want as it increases your latency. Moving on to NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, I suggest that everyone who wants the most FPS out of their system selects this on enabled. If you are playing on a very high-end system like me, you can put this on enabled plus boost, which will reduce your FPS, but improve your latency. Make sure to also drag the FPS sliders to 1000, as we want our FPS to be uncapped. Moving on to anti-aliasing, I personally use 2xMSSA, but for the best latency and performance, you can either turn this off for the global shadow quality. I suggest you have this on low. As you can see on your screen, it just makes the shadows more pixelated, which means they are bigger to see, gunshots, and this will also substantially increase your FPS. For dynamic shadows, never ever turn this on sun only, as you won't be able to see player shadows caused by different light sources. You will only be able to see shadows casted by the sun. For texture detail, if you are playing on a low-end system, then turning this off will improve FPS. But if you are on a high-end PC and want your skins to look better, you can keep this on high. The texture filtering mode is meant to smooth out existing textures and give them a more detailed, dark look, which really doesn't impact your FPS. Set this to bilinear. Now, shader quality is one of those settings that makes quite the difference. If you want the best FPS, then have this on low, which will reduce the quality of objects in the map and also help with the clutter. For particle details, set this to low, as it doesn't really impact your visibility through Molotovs, but it does increase your FPS. For ambient occlusion, make sure to have this disabled, as it's just a feature that casts more shadows in some places of the map. Make sure to put HDR on performance, as all this does is just manage the difference in contrast around the map. And lastly, if you are on a very, very low-end system and you do not care about the visual appearance of your game, then you can set Fidelity FX Super Resolution to performance. This will give you around 30 to 100 FPS more depending on your system. Now in the third step, if you do also have an NVIDIA graphics card, you'll want to tweak your 3D settings, as they can sometimes override your in-game settings, which we do not want. Just copy the settings off of my screen. If you do want more of an explanation as to what each one does, you can just hover over them, and NVIDIA provides you with an explanation at the bottom. Step 4. Use ParkControl to max out CPU performance for gaming. You can download and access all the files in one place from my Discord server. I'll also provide the links in the description. Your CPU is the brain of your computer, and to make CS2 run smoothly, it must always work at full performance. For this, we'll use a free software called ParkControl. Download and install it, then open the program. Inside, you will see power plans. Select the one called Bitsum Highest Performance. This power plan forces the CPU to always run at full speed. Now we need to adjust some settings. Set CPU parking AC and CPU parking DC to disabled. This stops Windows from turning off CPU cores. Set frequency scaling AC and frequency scaling DC to disabled too. Set minimum CPU usage and maximum CPU usage to 100%. This means your CPU will always run at full speed. Make sure Bitsum Dynamic Boost is also turned on for better responsiveness. After this, go to Windows Power Options and select Bitsum Highest Performance as your active plan. Finally, click Apply to save everything. Now your CPU will no longer slow down to save energy. It will run strong and stable, which reduces stutter and gives you higher FPS in CS2. With this step, you'll notice better aiming response and smoother gameplay in gunfights. Use MSI Afterburner to boost your GPU clock speeds. You can download and access all the files in one place from my Discord server. I'll also provide the links in the description. Now, it's time to boost your graphics card using a tool called MSI Afterburner. This tool allows you to safely overclock your GPU for better FPS. After installing MSI Afterburner, open it. You will see several sliders for different performance settings. Start by increasing the power limit and temperature limit by sliding them all the way to the right. Do not touch the core voltage slider. Next, slowly increase your memory clock in small steps of +20. For example, if it is at 0, move it to 20, then test your game. If the game is stable, increase it to 40, and so on. After each increase, test CS2 to make sure it runs smoothly. If at any point the game becomes unstable, go back to the last stable setting. Once you find the best performance level, click Apply to save your changes. This method helps your GPU work faster, and it can give you a nice FPS boost in CS2. Once you have completed all of these steps, restart your PC so that every single change is applied correctly. After restarting, your computer will be fully optimized for CS2. Your CPU and GPU will now run at full power.